to tilt this up a little bit. Hi everybody! Hello again, my name is Emma and welcome to Faith Night Friday. So glad that you're joining me tonight. I'm just putting on glasses because I'm about to read. And yeah, my eyesight is not like what it used to be. So, okay, so welcome. Glad you're joining me again. Okay, so we're just going to get right into it. It'll probably end up being short only because I'm in the third chapter on Ruth, and like I said, it was a very it wasn't a long story. It was a short story, more like a romance little novel, let's say, something like that. Okay, so we're reading out of the Bible in 52 weeks, and already, I think I was on week 16, so that's where I'm at, week 16. Okay, so, and I will be getting into Samuel after I read the last chapter of Ruth. Then I'll jump into Samuel, and I definitely want to first read the whole chapters, and then I'm going to watch a movie. And I'm going to watch two of them. I want to watch the movie of Samuel, and then I'll probably watch maybe one that's animated just for the fun of it. Okay, so again, we're still on Ruth, and we are in chapter, I think I already read chapter 3. So again, I'll just read you the introduction of Ruth. For those of you who probably didn't or don't know exactly what this story is about. So the peaceful story of Ruth is set in the violent times of the book of Judges. Ruth, a Moabite woman, is married to an Israelite. When he dies, Ruth shows uncommon loyalty to her Israelite mother-in-law and deep devotion to the God of Israel. In the end, she finds a new husband among her former husband's relatives, and through this marriage becomes the great-granddaughter of David, Israel's greatest king. The story of Judges shows the disaster that came when God's people turned away from him several times. Ruth shows the blessings that came to a foreigner who turned to Israel's God, and so became part of his faithful people. Okay, so that was all in a nutshell of Ruth, of what Ruth is about. Why do you have the door open? Okay, so Ruth finds a husband. So sometime later, Naomi said to Ruth, "I must find a husband for you so that you will have a home of your own. Remember that this man, Boaz, whose woman you have been working with, is a relative. Now listen, this evening he will be threshing the barley. So wash yourself, put on some perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes." Then, why do you keep closing the door on him? I don't understand.
Keep him out, because he's trying to kill children.
Okay, so okay, are you going in the room? No. Are you going in the room? That's what I'm asking you.
Not yet. We're trying to move the last turtle, but he's being hit.
Okay, go get the turtle.
Fill it, baby.
Can you move it along, please? Easy peasy. Didn't take that long. They're cleaning the turtles and he wants to be part of it. So, okay. So wash yourself and put some perfume and put on some perfume and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go where He is threshing, but you don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. Be sure to notice where he lies down, and after he falls asleep, go and lift the covers and lie down at his feet. He will tell you what to do." Ruth answered, "I will do everything you say." So that was Naomi who was telling Ruth what to do. So Ruth went to the threshing place and did just what her mother-in-law had told her. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in a good mood. He went to the pile of barley. He lay down to sleep. Ruth slipped over quietly, lifted the covers, and lay down at his feet. During the night, he woke up suddenly, turned over, and was surprised to find a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "It's Ruth, sir," she answered. "Because you are a close relative, you are responsible for taking care of me. So please marry me." Whoa. This is what you're going to do. Talk about being bold, right? Okay. "The Lord bless you," he said. "You are showing even greater family loyalty in what you are doing now than in what you did for your mother-in-law. You might have gone looking for a younger man." Again, in other words, Boaz already has age on him, but, he was like, you might want to find somebody younger. Yeah. But you have gone looking for a young man, either rich or poor. Now, don't worry. Ruth, I will do everything you ask. As everyone in town knows, you are a fine woman. It is true, I am a close relative and am responsible for you, but there is a man who is a closer relative than I am. So stay here the rest of the night, and in the morning we will find out whether or not he will want to take the responsibility for you. So in other words, there was somebody else prior to him that should have been in lineage, like he should have been the one for her to go to, but she ended up going to him. So stay here the rest of the night, and in the morning he will find out whether or not he will take responsibility for you. If so, well and good. If not, then I swear by the living God that I will take the responsibility. Now lie down and stay here till morning." So she laid there at his feet, but she got up before it was light enough for her to be seen, because Boaz did not want anyone to know that she had been there. Boaz said to her, "Take off your cloak and spread it out here." She did, and poured out almost 50 pounds of barley and helped her lift it to her shoulders. Then she returned to town with it. When she arrived home, her mother-in-law asked her, "How did you get along, daughter?" Ruth told her everything that Boaz had done for her. She added, "He told me I must not come back to you empty-handed, so he gave me all this barley." Naomi said to her, "Now be patient, Ruth, until you see how this all turns out. Boaz will not rest today until he settles the matter." Okay, so we're finished with chapter 3, and then we'll go on to chapter 4 next Friday. And just to go back, and we're going to read out of the chapter by chapter Bible commentary. He just wants to go in with the turtle. Seriously, get over here. And the one that I'm using is the Nelson's Quick Reference Bible commentary. Okay, so behave. So I'm going to Ruth, and it should be back here. Okay, so again, I'm just going to recap about what the story of Ruth is, so you'll get an idea and not like fall short and not know exactly what the story is about. I did read this before, but I'll just read it again. So it seems incredible that this beautiful love story could occur during the dark days of the Judges. But such is the grace of God. We are living in trying days today, yet God is at work in his world, getting a bride ready for his son and accomplishing his eternal purposes. Never permit the bad news of man's sin to rob you of the good news of God's love and peace and grace. You see the providence of God at work in the lives of Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz, and you see another important link in the genealogy of the Savior. In Ruth 4:17, David is mentioned for the first time in the Bible. The 4 chapters of Ruth are 4 acts in a drama, almost like in a drama series. The first one is tears, second, toil, third, trust, and fourth, triumphant. The book begins with funerals and ends with a wedding. Naomi moves from bitterness to blessedness, and Ruth moves from loneliness to love. What a picture of the grace of God. So now we are going to go to chapter 3, and that was the chapter that we already finished. And Naomi got rid of the bitterness and began to think of the others. She told Ruth how to approach Boaz, her kinsmanship, his kinsman redeemer. He was a near relative who was able to redeem, but was he willing to redeem? Ruth would find out that night. Okay, so kinsmanship, kinsman redeemer, and this is what a kinsman redeemer means. The law helped to protect the poor from being exploited and the rich from taking property from one tribe to another. The redeemer had to be a near kinsman who was able to redeem and willingly to redeem. He was not obligated to do so, but it was expected of him. To refuse was to hurt the family and tribe as well as his own reputation. By being born at Bethlehem, Jesus Christ became our near kinsman. He was able to save and willingly to save. He saves all who will put their trust in him. Okay, so then we go on. So that's what a kinsmanship is, and that's what Jesus was for us. Okay, so he didn't have to, but he willingly did put himself in that place to take care of us. So she was already under the Lord's wing, but she requested to be under the wing of Boaz. He was only too happy to comply. Up to that point, Ruth was doing all the work, but then Boaz went to work for Ruth. It was time for Ruth to rest and wait, trusting her kinsman redeemer. So then we go over here, and I think, oh yeah, it's another page. So Ruth is a good example for us to follow. When we have needs to be met, she listened to instruction, obeyed, believed what her Redeemer, received his gifts, and waited in patience for him to do the rest. When you are in the feet of your Redeemer, you have nothing to fear. So, 1, she listened to instructions, and that's what we usually do. We have to wait and not jump the gun or try to do things on our own, because sometimes that could totally mess us up. We have to obey, okay? Be obedient to what your instructions are. And then believe what her Redeemer said. We have to have faith. We have to believe that what the Redeemer is doing and saying is going to come to pass. And then we receive the gifts. And we wait patiently for him to do the rest of the work. So we do receive a lot of gifts, and we already know what we need to do. You know, we already have instructions. So it's not like if you're a first believer and you just started getting into the word, well then yeah, you'll definitely be taught of what the instructions of the word it is telling you to do, which is basically like really simple. Some of the words that could come to mind right away. Share the good news. Bam. Number one, share the good news. Go to the ends of the earth and let them know what Jesus did for you. Then there's other ones. And as you go into the Word, you start knowing more and more of what further instructions He has for you. So what do? You become obedient. You start listening to what the Word tells you to do. Okay? And just like in Joshua 1:8, you go and you read the Word on a daily basis. And what does it say? Oh my God, I was supposed to memorize that word, but just look it up, Joshua 1:8, and it shows you to read the Word faithfully and trust Him, and meditate on it day and night, and then you will become successful. So you need to read the Word on a daily basis. Follow Proverbs, the 31 woman, all that she did. Be obedient and do what she did. Then your life will also be successful. I mean, there's just so much. But the primary one, or the 10 Commandments, there's another one that you should follow faithfully. Be obedient to those instructions, because those instructions are given to us so that we can learn how to live in peace and be successful in our lives, because we are being told how to do things, not so much being told what to do. Nobody likes to be told what to do. You should really do this if you really want to get here. And if you want to get from A to Z, you should really do this. He's not forcing. He will not force anybody to do nothing they don't want to do. That has to come from you. That has to be, like, all have a willing soul, somebody who wants to do it willingly, because He's not going to force you, but it would be to your benefit to find out, what it is. What is it that the Lord wants to do for me? What benefits am I going to get from it? What blessings am I going to get for it? And sometimes in our darkest hour, He will meet you there at your even in your darkest hour. He will be there for you. So don't think just because you're going through a hard time or you're going through struggles, the Lord's not going to pay attention to you. He doesn't want nothing to do with you. On the contrary, He will be there. He will always be there, even when you realize it or not. He will always be by you. He will always be there to pick up your pieces and make whatever it is happen that went wrong. He'll be there to help you make it right. Okay, guys, so that's it. So again, we're going to go to chapter 4 next week, and I'll do the same thing again. Now, irriterate? I forgot how to pronounce that word. But it's going over the thing again. So, I'll definitely read out of the Bible, the commentary. And like I said, this one was going to be short because, like I said, the story is short. But okay, guys, so that's it for tonight. And I will be uploading this video in a little while. So you'll be able to hopefully see it tonight or tomorrow in the morning, which way you want to view it. Okay, guys, so like a fish in the sea. So glad you caught me, and we'll catch you in my next video. Bye.